Okay, hello. My name is Chad, and this is my final presentation for Computer 105. And today I will be presenting an application that I made in VBNet, and the application is called TaskBytes. And TaskBytes is a lightweight planner for bite-sized tasks. So first, what is TaskBytes? So TaskBytes is a lightweight application intended for small, in other words, bite-sized tasks. It has a minimalist design for simple and easy to use functions that help users stay productive and organized. And the application has three components to it, which is the task organizer, a Pomodoro timer, which is a study timer, and a note taker. Okay, so let's go take a look at the first form here. The first form is the dashboard, and this is what the user sees upon execution of the application. You'll see that they have 4 buttons here, and each button corresponds to another form. And the user can use these buttons to navigate to the respective form. So like the task, the timer, the notes, and then exit to just close out the application. And on the left, you can see the code here. There's just different sub procedures to navigate towards those forms. And I also included a sub procedure to keep the window size fixed. And this was just so the application design's format stays consistent throughout. And then the next form, we have the task organizer. The task organizer is just another to-do list, basically, but with some added features. So right here, you'll see it focuses on enter bite-sized task here, where the user can enter one, and then it does have a limit of 50 characters, and the reason for this is just to keep it within the theme of using this for bite-sized tasks, very small tasks that you need to get done. And you'll also see that I declared 3 different lists. There's a high, a medium, a low, and that's because the user can assign their tasks a priority level. And what the program will do is correlate those two and then populate it to a list right here. And you'll see in the demonstration that the highs will stay on top and the lows will stay in the bottom and the mediums in the middle. And once the tasks are there, they could either complete it or delete it, and complete it means to accomplish it, and once they complete it, it will move down to the completed task history right here, or they could delete it if they no longer need to do it, and it will just disappear from here. And then they could also clear the history within the completed tasks. And then next we have the note taker, and what the note taker is just basically a blank space for the user to have free reign to write whatever they want. The use cases for this, I imagine, would be brainstorming, free writing, quick notes, basically anything where the user just needs to quickly dump their mind into words. They have this free space here to do it. And once they click save note, the application will export whatever they wrote into a text file onto their desktop so they could save it for later. And then right here we have the Pomodoro, which is the study timer. And if you're not familiar with Pomodoro, Pomodoro is an interval of focus. So you would take a 25-minute timer of focused work, and then after the 25 minutes is up, you'll take a 5-minute break and then go back to 25 minutes and so forth. And then the user will also have an option to take an early break, and that will populate with the button right here once the timer is started. And you could see the source code over here. We have the timer. And this is just to kind of, yeah, we have the sub procedures for the start, pause, reset. Also for just to handle the time ticker events. And then moving on, we also got the break timer, and this branches off from the study timer. So the break timer is similar to the study timer in terms of code, but what the difference is that the break timer will automatically show the form once the 25 minutes is up. And what it will also do is full screen upon load. And the reason for it to full screen is to kind of encourage the user to disengage from their task for their 5-minute break. And they could also start, reset the break, and then return as desired. Okay, so now we have the demonstration here. This is the TaskBytes executable. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then you'll see that the dashboard launches right here. And you could also notice that there is a mouse hover effect for whenever they hover over a button, it will highlight in cyan. And this is just to keep it aesthetic with the design. And I'll go ahead and click tasks. So say enter a bite-sized task here. So let's say walk the dog. And let's say that's medium priority. let's say buy new shirt, that's low priority. Let's say do my final presentation. And then so right here, notice that when I select high priority, it is going to populate that above the medium priority instead of going to the bottom of the list. And if I do another high priority, like apply for financial aid, it's also going to add to the top right here. And then you could see that they kind of all stay together. So if I add a medium priority, it'll go into the medium priority, like do some sweeping. And then this will go into the medium. Bam. And then so once this is done, I could say, okay, I did that. So complete task. And then it will pull it from here into the completed task history. I walked the dog. Let's say I don't really need to buy a new shirt, so I could just delete that and it just disappears. And I did my final presentation and now it's here. And then let's say if it gets too much over here, I could just clear it. It'll prompt me, do I really want to delete that? Yes. Then I could click this to return to the dashboard, and then we go into the notes. Okay, so right here you see it prompts you to use this page to write anything. So I could say this is my note and I can write whatever I want here. And then I could save that note, and then it'll say note has been saved to desktop. Then I have my note over here. And you can see this is my note and I can write whatever I want here. Okay, and then I could also clear that and then return to dashboard. And then here we have the study timer. So we got 25 minutes of focused work here. I could go ahead and start that timer. And you'll notice once I start, it does have an option to take the early break if I want. If I need to pause that timer, pause, and then that also disappears. And then start it again. Pause, and then maybe I want to go back to 25 minutes, so reset. And then yeah, and then so once the 25 minutes is up, it'll actually open the break window automatically, but we're not going to wait 25 minutes, so take an early break. And you notice that it completely full screens, and this is so the user can just disengage after they start their break. And then they could also reset the break if they want. And return to focus. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That is my application, and thank you for taking the time to listen.